Hey everyone, I just want to take a second to introduce myself. I'm Sonia. I am the blogger over at Mom Wife Homestead Life, and I have been canning for at least 10 years independently, and several years before that with my mom and my grandma. The reason that I decided to make this video and kind of shed light on the reusable canning lid situation is because I can so much and it just makes sense for me to go to the reusable route. And last year, with all of the chaos of finding canning supplies, it just felt like it was the right time and the right place to go ahead and make that move. One thing that I looked for all over the internet and could not find was somebody willing to risk their harvest and their preserves basically, and swap out those canning lids. So that's why in my video you will see that I swap out the gaskets and the lids of both the Harvest Guard and the Tattler so that I can see which ones are the best and share with you guys so that you can make the decision for yourself which brand to go with and which one that you will love. I have a personal preference, but that might not be the same for everyone. So I hope you enjoy this video. Please feel free to leave comments below. I'm always open to hearing more suggestions on different lids that you'd like to try or any feedback that you have on the brand that you use. Thanks for watching. Alright, so I am reviewing a couple different reusable lids that you can use for canning. This here is the Weck, and I just put the lid on this. This one was actually super easy to do. I still have to master putting the clamps on, so we will see how that goes. But then over here on the top, I have the Tattler jar, or well, excuse me, the Tattler rings and lids, and then on the bottom down here I have the Harvest Guard. However, I have taken in this middle section here, I'm going to use a ring from one company and the lid from the other. So I'm going to be using the Tattler ring with the Harvest Guard lid and then vice versa so that I can see, we've been told that they are interchangeable, and I just kind of want to check it out, and I'll let you guys know how it goes from there. Okay, so I went ahead and I put the lids on the jars. I believe these rings are fingertip tight because that's what they call for you to do. And I am going to show you how the Weck jar works here in just one second. Okay, so I actually took the lid back off of this Weck jar. I guess I'm kind of concerned. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see here. But you can see, oh yeah, you can see, it's bubbling up on the edge. I'm sorry for my little man in the background. So I'm going to try to figure out how to keep this down so that it's not bubbling quite so much. That looks a little better. And then I'm going to have my middle son video while I attempt to get the ring holders on, these little clips, for the first time so that you can see kind of how it goes and honestly how unbearable it is. Okay. So you can see that the ring lid is bubbling up again, which kind of bugs me. I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue or not. It's a really wide ring, so I'm not too terribly concerned. I've got it centered well. All of my surfaces are clean.
Wait, am I supposed to push the button?
Nope, you're fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and attempt to get these on for the first time ever. And honestly, like, that was super easy. Can you see this here, buddy? I think they are on all, oh, there we go. That's on all the way. So you can see that they're on all the way and that it's not too terribly difficult. It was actually really easy compared to what I've heard some other people say. So now I'm going to put them in the canner and I'll let you guys know how it goes from there. Okay, so my jars are out of the canner now, and you can see that I have the Tattler lids here on the top and the Harvest Guard here on the bottom. And the Harvest Guard, it says that you can go ahead and tighten the lids on these straight away, so I'm going to grab a towel and do that right after I finish recording this little segment. The Tattler, it says to let those sit for 3 to 5 minutes. I'm not sure why there's the difference between the two, and I guess we will see what it plays a role in terms of the canning ring. As for the Weck jar, the one thing that I did find is that using my everyday can remover, can holder for my regular canning jars was definitely way too narrow to be able to do it. So normally I can just grab a jar one-handed like this. You know, you get where you're talented enough, you can just grab one and you're good to go. But with these Weck jars, the size of the mouth of the kind that I grabbed is so wide that even with my hand spread as wide as I can, it's very difficult to get over the jar. And I was really insecure actually, so what I did is I picked it up with this, and then I immediately snuck a towel in underneath so that I could hold the jar up with a towel underneath it to make sure that I didn't drop it. If I decide to switch over to these jars, I'm definitely going to have to look at some sort of holder or carrier so that it's a little bit easier to do. I'm going to tighten the lids on these jars now and get going. Okay, I'm back and my jars have cooled off. This is my Harvest Guard, as is, no additions made. Checking the seal, and it looks good. The Tatler with the Tatler seal, and that looks good. We have the Tatler lid with the Harvest Guard seal. You can see that it has the red seal, which is the Harvest Guard seal. And that one is good. Now we have our Harvest Guard lid with our Tatler seal, and this one did not seal. You can see that it didn't, when I was taking the ring off, actually, I felt that one fall off right away. So I'll put this one in my fridge, but definitely something to note that the Tatler lid, the Harvest Guard lid with the Tatler seal did not work. It makes me question if the interchangeability of these two probably isn't as true, or if maybe the Harvest Guard seal is a better seal than what the Tatler seal is, just because this seal did not work, and the Harvest Guard seal did work with the Tatler lid still. So that's why I tend to question it. When it comes to the Weck jar, this guy's all by himself. He's definitely much larger. I am nervous on this one, but it is holding its own weight, so that worked as well. So I think in conclusion, all I can see here is that definitely the lid exchange with the Harvest Guard lid and the Tatler seal. The Tatler seals are a little less industrial, I would say, compared to the Harvest Guard in terms of being able to hold and seal properly. One other thing that I did notice, which I honestly don't think I've noticed this with my other jams before, my jams or jellies, is that you can see a lot of moisture in the top of the jar. And you can see that on the plastic lids as well. Let me see if I can get it here. There you go. You can kind of see the spots of the liquid underneath the lid of the jar. I am going to let these sit overnight on the counter, except for this guy. I'm going to put him in the fridge right away so that he's good to go, and we'll probably eat it right away. Only other thing that I did notice that was slightly different on the directions was that one says that you can leave them overnight, and the other one says that you just let them cool at room temperature, and you can check them after that. And I checked all of these once they were cool. This is the same day that I canned. It's about 8 hours later now from when I originally canned. So I think you're safe to go ahead and do it the same day. They say you can store them with the rings if you want to. I never do, just because that way you can always check to see if everything's still sealed. I did miss the popping sound, but all in all, pretty successful. One other thing I wanted to note is that I seriously think that part of the reason that the lids that didn't seal was because simply the gaskets are the issue. I noticed that on all of my lids that did not seal, I was using a Tatler ring, or a Tatler gasket, excuse me. And I tend to wonder if maybe there's something different in the gaskets that just makes them a little bit different. I know in terms of size, when I looked at the ring, the gasket ring being on the lid, there was a little bit of a space when I put the Tatler gaskets on. So I just wonder if maybe if you have a ring, feel free to drop it in here and tell me, nope, you're completely wrong. I'm happy to listen to other people's opinions. But from my perspective, I just wonder if no matter what lid you had, maybe the gasket is the bigger issue, because honestly, that's where your seal comes in. So I think if you have reusable rings and you're not having success, I would definitely try a different brand for gaskets and see if that makes it work. I wouldn't throw a whole batch in straight away doing that. I would definitely try like 1 or 2 jars so that you don't catch yourself in the bind of having, 30 jars on your counter that didn't seal. This way, at least you can kind of test it out in a smaller quantity and see how it goes from there. Hey guys, I'm back with another day of Canning Complete. I did these jars last night, and today I took the lids off, or the rings off this morning, and I'm just checking them out. We have a Tatler with a Harvest Guard ring here, and it's sealed. A Harvest Guard with a Harvest Guard, and it's sealed. We have a Harvest Guard with a Tatler. This is the one that did not seal yesterday with the jelly, and on this batch of sauce, this one sealed. Then we have, just because I know these are easier to remember, this is a Tatler lid with a Harvest Guard seal, and that one did seal. This is a Tatler with a Tatler, and it's sealed. However, these last 4 jars, the 2 here and the 2 here, this is a Harvest Guard with a Tatler seal, and it did not seal. This is a Tatler with a Tatler, and it didn't seal. And these are both Tatlers with Tatlers as well, and they did not seal. So I'm super disappointed actually in the largemouth jars that I only had the one that sealed out of the 4 that I did. And these 6 were all processed in the same batch. They were all in the same canner at the same time. They were all processed at the same time. So, I mean, everything was very neutralized. There's no reason that one set should have sealed and the other didn't. So I guess I'm a bit concerned. So I have to reprocess some jars today and probably use some of it for lunch. Hey guys, so in conclusion, I just wanted to kind of give you my 2 cents on what I found with the jars and what I'm most excited about. So for me, for sure, I am definitely excited about these Weck jars. I love how beautiful they are, how versatile they are. The only concern I have with these is that for me, everything we have here in the US is based in cups, and these are based in liters. So being able to convert all of my recipes and stuff is going to take a little bit of time, but it would definitely be worth it. I did get some taller jars, some taller Weck jars. Got them down here. I did not can anything in these because they are so big. They're actually asparagus jars. I'm really looking forward to maybe trying some pickles or something inside of these come springtime or summertime when we have some of those things back in supply, which we don't currently have here in the Midwest. As far as the other lids go, I'm not thrilled over the Tatler lids, I'm going to be honest. But I'm definitely looking forward to the Harvest Guard. I have had wonderful success with Harvest Guard so far this year, and I am going to keep a note for you guys, a running total in the show notes down below on which lids stuck, which lids didn't, and just all the stats basically. And every time I can, I'm going to go ahead and update those stats and keep them going so that everybody can see how they're doing. I also have a great coupon code for you, which you can grab down in the show notes. I was able to contact Harvest Guard and get a coupon code for everybody that's listening. So check that out down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.